Yes then people, welcome back. That is my new morning routine to eat before I train. 4 Weetabix, protein shake, so that my glycogen stores are more full. I've noticed this has a positive effect on my workout and I get better pumps and I feel less fatigued towards the end of the workout. So if you don't eat before you work out, then I would definitely recommend giving it a go. If you train first thing, just something little, even if it's a few pieces of fruit, should make a difference. As long as it's half an hour to an hour before you train. And then, secondly, the reading aspect of it. I am somebody that really struggles to sit still. I struggle to focus on things for longer periods of time. But I think it's a skill that you can develop, and I think it's transferable to other things. And I've always read about 10 books a year and took 50% of the information in. But this year I'm trying to read more as I'm trying to develop my ability to sit still. As I've noticed, at the age of 26, I should probably be able to sit still for more than 30 minutes to work now. So that's why I'm reading, and it's also fun learning about random shit. I'm reading a book on Greece and Rome at the minute. It talks about how civilization started, how most of the myths turned out later to be true. Obviously not all of them, because there was no Zeus firing lightning bolts down on people, really. But who knows, could be. Probably not though. And then the most traumatic part of the morning was learning that we had freeze-dried coffee, because here in Australia there was a massive flood and all the train tracks are closed, and I live in Western Australia and all the food's made on the East Coast, so the food can't go over here to Western Australia, so it's freeze-dried coffee for the foreseeable future until they can get food over to this side of the country. Anyway, we're going to go to the gym now and train legs, so catch you there. Here we are, we're talking over the first leg session of the mesocycle, and for the first exercise I usually do 1 to 2 warm-up sets for really lightweight, and then a few reps with my working weight, and then get into it. As you can see here, this is my first set, which is the heaviest one. So that is about 90 kg. Who knows how much the bar is? I just say 90 kg because that's what it would be on a normal bar. On the Smith machine, it's hard to really say. They're all very different. But this is the first set, and I got 14 reps here with 90, I believe. It's good to go back over watching your clips, because here you can see on one of these towards the end, I think it might be this one, I cut the range of motion a bit short. Yeah, here. As where all the others, I'm going down, you can see my hamstring pretty much come over my calf. But with that one before, I cut the range of motion. So if you don't watch back your training, it's definitely good to watch it over to see these little tiny things, and then you're definitely more mindful of them next time round. So I've put in another angle of it here, just so you can see what I mean by hamstrings over calves on the Smith machine squat. You can see my left leg there, and I really tried to get all the way down, hamstrings on the calves before going back up. And that's just a good mindful thing to do, to know, this body part touching this body part is the end of the rep. Because it's very easy to cheat yourself with reps and not be honest about where you are, and just cut your range of motion short. And that's not a good way to progress, because always doing different range of motions isn't going to lead to the best results in the long run. Then we have a hack squat. I usually go quad hamstring, but the leg curl was taken, so I just went on to the hack squat. Saturday morning, and it was going to get busy soon, so I didn't fancy waiting. And with this one, same again, really deep on the squats. It's all about technique, lowering that weight slowly as opposed to just putting weight on the bar. I used to do that, and I have noticed now I do this, I get a lot better quad pumps. So if you are squatting 90 degrees or anything like that, try to squat lower. It'll be better for your mobility, everything, your recovery, and you won't get as many injuries because you're not lifting more weight than you should be. Then here, standard hamstring curls. Not much to say about these. Pretty boring, to be honest, but a bit of hamstring work has got to be done. But nobody really cares about the hamstrings, because we're not bodybuilders, we're not competing. You just need hamstrings so that you're not lopsided. And I've actually made a little change here on my program. I was doing just straight up side lateral raises, sat down, and I've gone more for full range of motion. They could be called Lu raises. It's like a Chinese powerlifter. I think he's Chinese. I hope he's... I'm gonna go with Chinese, might not be there. And you can really feel your side delts with these as well. Like, I used to think, like, go to there, that's the good range of motion for your side delts, but honestly, if you try these for one set, you'll have to lower the weight, your delts will be absolutely pumped out their head. So even this last rep, I'm probably struggling to get it out. So I definitely recommend putting them in if you've never tried them. And then, just some standard calves to finish the session off. We all hate training calves, but unfortunately, it has to be done, doesn't it? It's a bit boring, to be honest, but 3 or 4 sets at the end, not too bad. I didn't actually record my abs, but I did some cable crunches, and that's because the camera died. But let's get back to the video now. Just finished legs. Camera's about to die, so I couldn't get the ab clip in. Let's see if it's got enough charge for this clip. So, the training mistake number 1 that I see people make is that they're not training hard enough. I'm going to put up a video from the leg session in the corner now because I felt that I wasn't training hard enough for one of my sets. As you can see, I start off alright, but then my reps are speeding up a little bit and I'm not really taking my time with the weight. And then I'll go a bit fast, hit the thing, hit the clips, I notice this, and then I make changes for the last part of the set and I start training a bit slower on the eccentric again. Most people don't really think about how they're training, they just go in and go through the motions. Camera died, but back to the clip. The number 1 mistake that I see people making with their training is that they're just going through the motions, not taking enough time with each rep, not trying to feel the tension in their muscle, and they're just leading. This will lead to more fatigue, less progress. So if you have to lower the weight and take more time with your reps, do that. This gets me on to mistake number 2 that I see most people making. They don't either eat enough protein, which is 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight per day, which is about 3 to 4 servings of protein. Every meal, you should have protein alongside that meal, a lean protein source, and then you've covered it already. Just add it in. It's not that hard. It's just getting to the consistency of eating protein, which is one of the main things that I see people struggle with at the start. And then number 2 would be not eating the right amount of calories to support their goal. If you want to put muscle on, you're probably going to have to be in a calorie surplus, which means gaining some fat. And this isn't fun. People don't like being fatter than they currently are, but it serves a purpose. In the long run, it's going to be better for you. Anything that you do in life, you probably don't like it at first. It probably has some negative sides to it, but the outcome will be positive. You need to look at it like this is a delayed gratification. I am getting a little fatter now so that I can put on muscle so that when I cut down again, I can look better. And for cutting, it would be the not following the right nutritional protocols to stick to their cut. So not eating foods that fill you up, trying to eat the foods that you eat on your bulk. You need to be trying to eat high fiber foods, high volume foods, high protein, lower calorie, manipulating your diet to make it easier to stick to. Recovery, one of the most important and overlooked factors in the gym. If you're not sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night and you're not resting enough time between your sessions, or maybe you're even overtrained, then you're going to need a period off the gym. How would you know this? If you are having shit sessions and you're not progressing and your sleep's suffering and everything else in your life is suffering, you are struggling with motivation to do things and you're just feeling lethargic and tired all the time, then it means you're overtrained and you need to take a week off. After this, you'll feel a lot better and you'll be able to get back to it. So just make sure that you're not overtraining, because this is one of the main things that's going to make you think that you're doing well, but you're going to be just spinning the wheels and getting nowhere. Number 4 is that you're not hitting your muscles often enough. It only takes 48 hours for your muscles to recover. And if you're only hitting each muscle group once a week, then you're leaving a lot of gains on the table. Let's illustrate this with this wonderful drawing I've just done on my whiteboard. So you've got person A who's doing 8 to 10 sets per session. And you've got person B who's doing 20 sets per session. He's only training each muscle group once a week, whereas person A is training each muscle group twice a week. What person B is going to find is they're doing way too much volume in the session, and towards the end of the session they really struggle to feel their muscles contract, and they're not lifting as much weight as they possibly could. Whereas person A is going to find that he is only doing 8 to 10 sets per body part. So what he's going to do is he's going to go in, he's going to be able to train really hard on those 8 to 10 sets, and he's not going to be thinking like person B, oh, I need to save some in the tank for later on in the session, because he's only got 8 of them to go in that session. And then next time he comes around to training, he's going to train another 8 to 10 sets. Say he trains chest on a Monday and chest on a Thursday, he does 8 to 10 sets each session. Who do you think is going to lift more? Person A, who does 8 fresh sets each time, or person B, who does 20 sets all in one session? It's obviously going to be person A, and that's why he's got the smiley face, and that's why he's happy. He's making more gains. And that's going to be you, more happy, making more gains if you have a higher frequency with lower volume. And the last one is, don't forget to live your life, mate, because it's very easy to get hooked in on the gym. I want to eat healthy, I want to focus on this meal plan, but realistically, if you forget to live your life and eat out, then it's going to be very hard to stick to it in the long run, and you're just going to lose your social life, and you're not going to enjoy the gym as much because it's going to feel more like a chore. So make sure to live your life, eat out, because in the long run, these things don't make a dent if you're consistent for the rest of the week. Just editing this video and it was too windy on the beach to record my outro, so I'm going to have to do it here. It's part B to number 5, and that is, don't be afraid to veer off from your routine. Because yes, it's good to have a routine and you should have one in place, but it can sometimes be to the detriment of you, because you think you've too much pressure, you've got to get this done at this time, and if you can't do it, say one day you wake up late, you can feel like, because it's your routine, you have to stick to it. And you should be able to have a routine, some structure in place, but then you should be able to be pliable within that, and you should be able to maneuver things around in your day to best suit you. So it's good to have a routine, but don't get married to it, and make sure you've also got time to live your life as well. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.